And at this very moment of time, we are now going to invite a very special person on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce this person, please give me a moment of your time to read out his profile. Professor Uditha Liyanage is the Professor of the Management of Postgraduate Institute of Management of University of Sri Jayawardhanapura and Adjunct Professor of the Management of University of Canberra, Australia. He counts over 15 years of experience in industry, having held senior marketing management positions in 3 leading companies in Sri Lanka. He also has published many articles on branding and strategic marketing in leading journals, both here and abroad, and addressed numerous local and international conferences. He also holds an MBA and is a chartered marketer and a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Marketing and the first Sri Lankan honorary fellow of the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, and he's also the first Sri Lankan honorary fellow of the Asia Marketing Federation. Professor Liyanage is a marketing consultant to a number of leading companies and international agencies and a developer of senior managers. He's on the boards of directors of a number of leading companies in Sri Lanka.
Ladies and gentlemen, our very own marketing guru, pride of Sri Lanka, who functions as the advisor to Slim Brand Excellence. Could you please put your hands together and welcome on stage Professor Uditha Liyanage.
At the end of this event tonight, the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing would have under its belt a dozen Brand Excellence Awards. And I think that is reason for celebration. 12 consecutive Brand Excellence Awards. I've had the privilege of being associated with this flagship event of SLIM, the Brand Excellence Awards, over the years. I recall with a sense of satisfaction, perhaps a sense of nostalgia, the first Brand Excellence Awards held 12 years ago. There were 4 of us in the panel. And it is with a sense of delight that I note how this event has grown in status, in size, and in stature. President of the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, our chief guest and guest of honor, members of the panel of judges, ladies and gentlemen. I think there are 2 overarching laudable objectives of the Brand Excellence Awards. The first one is fundamental and is vital, and that is to reward good to great brands. If you want great brands, then you've got to reward great branding. Because there is this dictum, there is this mantram. What gets rewarded gets done. So I think in that sense, this competition, this award scheme is very important. Secondly and importantly, as the president of SLIM mentioned a little while ago, this scheme establishes a strong, a robust branding process, a structured process to develop strong brands. So even if you don't win an award tonight, you would be richer by the fact that you've understood the branding process. And that, I think, is extremely important. Let me take just 3 minutes to indicate in brief the criteria that were used in evaluating your applications. There were 4 sets of criteria: brand intent, brand content, brand process, and brand performance. Now, I would like you to note this point. The first 3 that I mentioned relate to what you did. If you like, the drivers, the enablers. And the fourth one, brand performance, is about the results that you've achieved, the outcomes that you've achieved. And the challenge before the judges was to establish this connection, this relationship, this nexus between what you did and what you got. And this year, we looked long and hard at the criteria, and we said, the outcomes, brand performance, will have only 50% of the total marks. And the balance 50 would be allocated to what you did, the branding process. Because your performance, your sales, your profits would perhaps come from factors that do not directly relate to what you did in the organization. There could be external environmental factors. So I think that's a very important change that we brought about this time. To put it simply, I think the whole process of Brand Excellence Award is underpinned by what I may call 6 P's of marketing. Some of you are familiar with my 6 P's of marketing. It's a reconceptualization of established knowledge, received wisdom. Nothing new, but it's a reconceptualization. The first 2 P's relate to branding in particular. And that's a fundamental change that we brought about some 7 years ago. When I looked at the criteria some 7 years ago, I realized that we were looking not at Brand Excellence Award, but rather Marketing Excellence Awards. And there is a very important distinction here. We're looking at branding, brand performance, not marketing performance. So the first 2 P's are very important. They directly relate to the branding process. The first P is about the person. How do you identify a market? How do you segment that market? And then how do you zero in on your target consumer? Identifying your target market is the first P, the person. And a number of marks were allocated for this. Did you have a clear segmentation process? On what basis did you pick your target markets? And the judges looked at this very carefully, I believe. The second P is very important. Person, the first P, and the second P is positioning. Now, ladies and gentlemen, positioning is a profound concept. It is rooted in cognitive psychology, and marketers have borrowed it from psychology. And many marketers, I would argue, do not appreciate the significance, the profundity of this concept of positioning. Positioning is not the same as brand proposition. Positioning is not the same as brand promise. Positioning is not the same as USP. Positioning is not the same as top of mind. Positioning is about identifying a mental category in the consumer's mind and locating your brand there. So the judges looked at these vital factors in evaluating your applications. 2 concluding remarks before I close. I think going forward, brand managers out there, brand custodians, have to know 2 important mega trends that are unfolding in the arena, in the field of marketing. And let me state these 2 trends by using 2 very simple, perhaps pithy statements. The first one is that marketers are increasingly realizing that customers don't know what they know. Can I repeat that? Customers don't know what they know. In marketing research, traditional marketing research, conventional marketing research, we make the fundamental assumption that the customers know what they want. The customers know their aspirations and their desires, and all what you've got to do is to ask the customer, and they would tell you. Now that is true, but not true all the time. The answers to those questions, customer expectations, customer aspirations, customer desires, are in your subconscious more often than not. They are in the deeper recesses of your psyche. And you've got to employ new research methods, to uncover what the customer does not know consciously. And I think that's something that you need to figure out going forward. The second mega trend in marketing, to my mind, can best be expressed as the death of average. The death of average. In other words, increasingly, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at the segment of one. Big data, predictive analytics now help us to zero in on an individual customer. We are moving towards personalization. And if you're not up to it, if you're still talking about segments consisting of millions of consumers, then perhaps you're going to lose the plot. Because new technology must be used to focus on individual customers who may belong to a given segment. Now, these are the challenges before brand managers, brand custodians. Let me congratulate the winners tonight. You've done well to be here tonight. Let me also congratulate the non-winners who are here tonight. Because you've done the only thing that matters in life. To embark on that vital, pivotal journey. The journey of going from good to great. Thank you very much and all the very best to you.
Thank you, sir. We would like you to kindly remain on stage, Professor. Professor Liyanage, we would like you to remain on stage for a few moments because we're going to invite a presentation party who will now present a token of appreciation to you. And we're going to quickly invite the presentation party. So we'd like to very warmly invite Mr. Gamika De Silva, President of SLIM, Mr. Karlan Ratnayake, the Vice President Events, and also Charitha Jayasinghe, the Project Chairman, SLIM Brand Excellence 2013, on stage, who will collectively present a token of appreciation to our advisor to SLIM Brand Excellence 2013, Professor Uditha Liyanage. So gentlemen, can we invite you on stage? And also, Professor Liyanage, we'd like to invite you on stage to accept this very special token of appreciation. And this is how SLIM Brand, or the organizers of SLIM Brand Excellence 2013 would like to express their heartfelt, grateful thanks. Could we hear it, ladies and gentlemen, to our advisor, Professor Uditha Liyanage.